When a situation is defined as hypnosis, hypnosis is more likely to happen. So I think that probably seems like an odd and rather obvious title for this particular video. But I want to discuss something that I think is typical of an ongoing debate that I find myself having with several people. So let me just kind of explain that topic. I was recently, and a couple of times before that as well, told that much of the evidence for hypnosis and the clinical applications of hypnosis are no use to us because we're actually measuring compliance and expectation and association rather than hypnosis. And hypnosis is virtually impossible to define these days. Even the dictionary definition has it very wrong and is massively outdated according to many, though others do swear by it. So to illustrate a point, I'd like to mention some experiments that were conducted back in the 1960s by Theodore Barber and colleagues. So in 1964, 1965, Barber showed that simply labeling the situation as hypnosis greatly enhanced responsiveness to suggestions. And let me explain that. In both of these experiments that were carried out, the research subjects were randomly assigned to one of two experimental treatments. One set of subjects were told that they were part of a hypnosis experiment, and those in the other group were told that they were control subjects. That is, that they were having nothing in particular done. And so to measure the effectiveness it was just to measure the effectiveness of placebo within the test process. Once the research scenario was framed as hypnosis or control group, the remainder of the treatment was carried out identically. Absolutely the same for every single one of both groups. They were then tested immediately to measure how they responded to a series of standardized suggestions from Barber's own suggestibility scale, and that's namely the Barber suggestibility scale. So in both of the studies that were conducted, as far back as the 60s, as I mentioned earlier, those people in that group were told that they were in a hypnosis experiment, showed a gain in suggestibility as compared to those who were told they were just control subjects. So if we then ask and discuss the reasons for such an increase, we end up getting into a heated debate. The debate often ensues then. One reason for subjects responding better when they believe it's a hypnosis experiment may be because of individuals' assumptions about hypnosis. Over the years, people have come to understand that hypnosis enhances suggestibility or responsiveness in one way or another, and therefore they may respond better to suggestions to meet the expectation that they have. So, Adam, does this then mean that hypnosis has been measured or expectation and compliance has been measured? And I get asked that a lot from people that question the evidence and the research over the years. The expectation level is such in these experiments that Barber even suggests that subjects knowing that they're in the hypnosis research setting may not wish to disappoint the hypnotist, may be more responsive as a result. Which is no measure of hypnosis, and that's what the research critics argue. Anyone in a control group may not have such expectations or desire to respond in a way that will not, disappoint the hypnotist, for example. This is a similar issue that crops up time and again when individuals present research findings to support their own arguments. Often their opponents dismiss whether hypnosis is even being measured. The subject gets diverted into notions to do with the definition of hypnosis and not actually the matter at hand, which strikes me as a bit of a shame. So I've got no conclusion to this video. I just wanted to highlight the simple debate and briefly highlight it that I encounter a great deal in terms of research and show that even the researchers have actually considered these points before. Yes, they have. They are researchers who studied the field, and they're not just overlooking loads of stuff that a hypnotherapist with 10 months of training knows better. I'm giving you a wry grin there. It's tough when presenting ideas and arguments when others just dismiss or contradict due to potential fallibility of research rather than actually discussing the findings and how they contribute to the field overall. But that's it. When we label something hypnosis, often it raises suggestibility just in and of itself. Do subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.